The Filthy Show has extremely explicit content. It is not intended for children, adults, or anyone really, especially retards without a sense of humor. If you offend easily, please fuck off now.
Welcome to The Filthy Show, new episode. Took about a week off, a little bit of hiatus, but we're back. We're back heavy with a great episode. I'm your host, Adam Luckey. We got the co-host, Chris Rees.
Hello.
Looking better. He's looking cleaner as we go.
I take showers.
You do. You were on Kill Tony recently, and they said you look unclean. But I thought you looked more clean.
The cleanest I've looked.
You looked more clean then than you ever have probably ever.
Yeah.
But our guest today, speaking of Kill Tony, is the newest regular on Kill Tony. Great dude. Guys, make some noise. Drew Nickens is here, everybody.
Hey, what up, y'all?
What is up, Drew? Good. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah. You did great, by the way, man.
Oh, thank you.
You did good. I've always said the minute is easy if you do comedy, is the interview. The interview is the hard part.
Mm-hmm. See, for me, the minute is the chore. The interview is the reward.
I think, and I don't mean this in an insulting way.
No.
I think when you're full-time comedian and it's been doing it for a long time and you get to the interview portion, you're less prepared for that. Because for the minute, I'm saying in the sense of just going up randomly at the, not expecting to go up, and then you go up. It's the minute's easy because you just pick your best material and do it. And then the interview, you're like, what are we even going to talk about? Because for me, it's I have a kid and I do comedy, and that's pretty much it. There's not a lot of, when he asks the questions what else do you do besides comedy? Do you have any other talents? It's no and no. So I just have to try to goof around.
I guess you can prepare for that shit, but you
yeah,
never really do.
Do you prepare for the interviews, or do you just kind of go out there and wing it?
The interviews, I always try to have something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things where, right now I have a couple things about me working out, or let's say I have a date that I went on, or, something of that nature. I always try to have something for the interview because that's where I can have fun. That's where we can riff together. That's when I can talk to the host. I like doing the minute, but the minute there's so much pressure for me on the minute than there is on the interview.
Yeah, well, you don't have as much to play off of.
I'm so much better at the interview. And you could see it in my first appearance. My first minute, people didn't know what to expect. They were like, what the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, is this guy real?
And then my interview, I just hit the ground running, and I did so well, but that's because I already knew. Bring up being half black. Yeah. Bring up that I haven't been on a date in 2 years.
For sure. When you have things that are interesting in your life, or that are just kind of obscure and different, that's what that show is all about.
And I have I'm doing minutes that I can then talk about in the interview. I'm going to talk about maybe being Mormon when I used to work at a corn maze. You
say maybe being Mormon?
Well,
you don't know?
When I was Mormon. I was Mormon, so when I was
I'm guessing
Mormon,
that was post brain injury. You got it. Then you're maybe
story.
Mormons are right.
Funny story. I actually got out when I was 13, and one of the big reasons is because I learned how they felt about black people.
Well, didn't they change it?
Yeah, in
isn't that an official thing?
So
you gotta give him props.
Black?
Yeah, I'm half black.
Your dad is fully black, right?
Yes.
So fully gone, I would assume.
Huh?
Fully gone?
Oh. No, he's around. He's around.
Okay.
I was wide enough that he was like, you know what, this kid might be something. And
that's actually really smart. He's like, I might have a Blake Griffin on my hands. I better stick around with this kid.
He's like, score. I got a white kid.
No offense, but he did not get a Blake Griffin.
No,
you went the other way on that one. But
he got a Kramer. He's like, why you bring a white? I thought you were bringing a white boy to me.
Yeah, but you're a Kramer who could do the N-word routine, and they couldn't get mad about it.
Dude, they can't.
I mean, they could.
Have you ever tried saying the N-word on stage?
No, and there's a reason why. My dad set me down. We were listening to Hey Ma by Cameron. Me and my brothers were singing along with it. The N-word came up. He took me into a separate room.
He said, only you. No.
Yeah, no, and he goes, your brothers, they look black.
Mm-hmm.
You are black, but you look different. If you say that word, people will hurt you.
That's good advice.
And then he spanked me until my ass was black.
Oh, there you go. Now your ass can say the N-word.
And so now I have this trigger, and it was a triggering to my. I don't even say the word anymore because it's just I was talking to Jolly and Cam and all them, and they was like, he was really black. You would say it. I was like, no. I've learned it's a safety thing now.
It makes sense because, like, if you're like, "Don't worry, guys, I'm black," they're gonna be like, "Hey, nuh-uh." How about no, you aren't, liar?
Yeah,
So your brothers are dark skinned?
they're darker. Like one looks like Klay Thompson, the other one looks like Brittany Griner.
Same mom.
Yes.
Okay, well that happens. I've seen that before.
And if you see my brothers, we look alike. It's so crazy how much we look alike that they got all the athletic ability and I got a big heart, you know?
Yeah.
You won the lottery of God, dude. You got the skin.
You got the skin,
they
but
can
you still
jump
got,
high, but you're white.
You got
Hell
the black
yeah.
dad
I mean,
that
I can
stayed.
still do the
That's a big
electric
deal.
slide and I can still do the electric slide.
Can
I
you
love me
dance
some-
pretty good?
Hell yeah, dog.
That's impressive. Have they had you dance yet on Kill Tony?
Yes, twice.
That makes
already,
sense.
You know.
You might be the luckiest black man in the world.
Oh no, I don't have that many white women in my DMs, dog.
That's true. Are you still attracted to thick white women? Is that part of it? That's got to be in there
I'm
somewhere,
getting
right?
there, dog.
That's genetic.
You
dude.
stay away from my wife, Drew.
Yes, sir.
She's a taken
Don't you
woman.
fuck our
Yes,
beautiful
sir.
white angels.
No, it's like we made an agreement with black people. Like, you can have some of our women, but they got to be pretty big. And they were like, hell yeah. Sounds good to us.
Or they have to sound like they have a head injury.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost like thick or super skinny and just trash. Like that tends to be the girls who gravitate towards black guys. But I don't know. I agree with them. I've always leaned towards the thickness. I'm very down with it.
I like seeing white women that are so happy that they have black friends. Like,
Yeah.
I worked in underground poker before I moved here. And
You were Rain Man? You were doing a Rain Man before?
I worked the door and I worked like concierge or whatever they needed. And so I would come in and I would meet all these waitresses and there would be some ghetto hoes. I mean, just straight
At the
up.
Underground Poker Club? Really?
Yes.
You never would think that.
Dog. You would see like a transgender and a fucking like Asian dude that talks straight up Texan. They would walk in together,
That's fun.
you'd see like a bunch of gangsters and then like just one nerdy ass dude, and they're all rolling together. Like, it's such a close community, kind of like comedy. But like, you would see the ghettoest white women just be over the moon when a black woman be like, "Oh, you real cool," and they'd be like,
Does their voice change a little bit the more they
Hell
talk to
yeah,
the black?
dog.
Dude, I used to date a girl that was like that because I had worked with a lot of black people at one point and had a lot of black friends, and then I just stopped dating a black woman. I dated one of her white friends after that, and she talked completely normal. It's completely white when she's around me, and the second we got around black, it would come out real fast. She's like, "Hell yeah, you guys got that shit." I'm like,
Know
"Where did
what
that
I'm
come
saying?
from?" Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of shit.
She.
Ah, shit.
I love it when white women post like deep Kevin Gates thoughts. Like, you ever see like the Instagram where they're like, "You gotta get your mind right."
I
know,
can't.
people can't. There's snakes in the grass. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, bitch, you like fucking The Hills and Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
Stop
you're watching
trying to
Keeping
get
Up with the
you right.
Kardashians, you dumb bitch.
Exactly. Don't.
I can only watch female content on social media if I'm going to comment on it and be mean. That's become a hobby of mine. It's making me more successful than comedy ever has, which is sad, but also like it's a lot easier than stand up.
You're still creative. So.
Yeah, it's still something. One thing it helps too, it's like you'll write something and then people will click on your profile most of the time just to talk shit back to you. Like, oh, let me see this guy. And then they see that I'm a comedian. They're like, oh, okay. He's not just a fucking low-life loser. Well, he's a low-life loser, but he has a job and a career also. So.
He does look like he runs a couple Reddit threads, but you know, he's
Funny enough, I've always avoided Reddit and 4chan, and I look like I created both of those.
Yes, you do.
I look like I made Chris Chan with my dreams. You will be one.
He is the greatest story of the internet.
He's
When you
out.
He's out of
Right?
the...
Didn't
is he out of jail?
Didn't he get
Or prison?
fully acquitted? Yeah. It's all gone. I think he's...
Yeah.
Or maybe he went to a hospital. They may have... I think he has to do like a couple months in a like mental hospital.
That's
or something
smart.
Like that.
That's pretty.
That makes sense. Everyone's really pissed about it, and I don't know enough about the situation to give a hard opinion. For people that don't know, this is a guy that was basically one of the first like internet stories where the internet just absolutely took hold of this guy's life, and he was heavily autistic, very odd guy. And the internet just trolled him to a point where, like, it's crazy that he even kept going. Most people who had like a little bit of sanity would have just stopped. Would have just been like, let's just stop doing this. People are obviously not responding to me. I'm not getting a positive following at all. Everyone who follows me is just doing so to mess with me. But he just kept going and then became a woman, I believe, right? Isn't he like trans? Now it's like Christian or Christine or something.
Christine, yeah.
And became a woman. And then she started having sexual relations with her mother, her biological mother, who was dementia, I believe, dementia or Alzheimer's, and got arrested for it. And now they're getting acquitted, which I don't necessarily agree with their actions, but this is a person that's severely mentally ill. This is not just some evil person that's like molested their mom. They did do that, which is horrible. But
Do you think the parents at all molested him when he was a kid?
Heavy possibility.
So therefore he thought maybe I can get back at her?
I think that's definitely on the table with how messed up that person was.
Well, his claim to fame was he made like a Sonic
Chew.
Sonic Chew,
Sonic
which is
Chew.
like a Sonic spinoff.
It's pretty badass looking though. I'll give him that.
And
It's like a
there's,
necklace thing, like an emblem.
Yeah,
that
and
he
then
used
he
to wear.
started, and I think he just didn't get a lot of attention when he was younger. He was a very odd person, so when you get any attention, you're gonna thrive off that, and then everyone just started catfishing him. There's like, so there's
yeah,
like,
we watched a lot of that.
yes,
Oh, it's so sad.
We deep dived. The problem with deep diving into Chris Chan is it ruins you too.
Yeah.
Like,
you start becoming Chris Chan a little.
You're like, it is 21 hours in, and we're still 3 years away.
It turns
Oh,
out
yeah.
now.
Drew never had a brain injury. He just watched too much Chris Chan. And he came out on the other end like, God damn, I'll never be the same.
But I mean, and he's stupid enough that this girl's real, I swear.
This time, yeah,
this time,
for real.
you know?
That's exactly what it is. Because it's like, dude, it's happened so many times.
The thing that made me really sad is somebody
yeah.
tricked him into really thinking they liked them. He thought they were like in love. He sends him his emblem of the Sonic Chew, and
then
they
his-
sent him a video of them burning it.
setting it on fire, yeah.
It's so funny.
And then called him and was like, hey, I'm actually a 12-year-old boy. And like just ripped into him, called him a pedo. It's like, damn.
no wonder he fucked his mom.
I guess. I'm not excusing the act. Don't do that. People who watch The Filthy Show, I'm not saying, look, I understand if you watch our podcast, there's definitely a demographic of you that are maybe wanting to do stuff like that, but don't. That's my advice. Don't do it.
Only fuck your mom if she's in right of mind to say yes.
Or if she's a smoke show. Like
yeah,
that.
if your mom's hot.
Your mom's got to be
You got
real.
a hot mom, maybe lay pipe, but
If
whatever.
your mom's Kat Dennings, that'd be pretty hard.
Stepmom.
Stepmom's
Oh,
fine.
it was his stepmom?
No,
No.
but
Oh.
stepmom, that's where I draw the line. Like, you got to be stuck in a washing machine. We're going to Pound Town,
Well,
you know?
I
Yeah,
think
if you're
it'd be
dumb enough to
weird
get stuck.
if it's your stepmom.
If you're dumb enough to get stuck.
Well,
you're
she's
getting
dumb
raped.
enough to get stuck. She's dumb enough to get fucked. Am I right, Doug?
I just stopped doing laundry in June because it's Pride Month, and you just never fucking know it. I get stuck all the time.
Just an app starts going off. Oh, Drew's in the washing machine. Let's go
Oh,
get
You
him.
say you get stuck in the washing machine
Oh,
all
I've
the
been
time?
stuck in the washing machine.
It happens,
before,
I've been there. Thank God no one was in the house.
Exactly. Thank God they didn't see my underwear, you know?
I think for stepmom sex, if you were raised by that person, it's a little weird. Like if you were 6 months and they came into your life, and that's pretty much your mom at that point. Like if you don't have a biological mother and they raised you from a young child, that's a little odd, but still it's not. You're not really breaking any
really.
rules.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's a little
the
weird.
only thing that makes incest bad is the product of it, like the retard kids you get.
Well, it's also like, why is this so? Why are you wanting to do it? Are you wanting to do it because you just like this person, or you want to do it because it makes you hard that it's mama, and you're gonna get a little mommy
Yeah.
time?
With some Freudian.
Yeah, for sure.
Freudian from
if you're gonna have
fucking-
sex with your mom, get to know her personality more. Don't do it
Yeah.
based off of attraction.
Don't
It's
don't
weird.
do a one night stand.
Yeah,
Because then you
call
gotta be
her
around
after.
her all the time. That's gonna be so awkward in the morning. She's making your lunch, and you just like try not to make eye contact.
Like I was in that. I was in that last.
You don't
night.
want your ex
It's
to
like
be your
every
mom.
time you poke a hole into the Capri Sun, you're like, I did that to my mom.
Oh yeah.
You gotta stop bragging about it, dog. That's highly illegal. You're gonna go to prison for it. Do you have an attractive mother, or is she the normal mom?
My dad's black. I love her to death.
She's 300 pounds.
We're not going to give her weight out. We're not doing that.
Damn, that means I'm close. My mom was pretty big at one point. She lost a lot of weight though. So I'm just throwing out.
My mom teaches in the hood. So like,
oh, really? She's a teacher?
Yeah, she's at elementary school. They have drive-by shooting drills
at an elementary school.
So your mom is Dangerous Minds.
She knows more about gangs than I do. She's like, oh, I know the Cedeno hierarchy. I'm like, wow,
that's interesting though. Yeah, she probably does get a really like good look into that. It's like a legitimate hood where she teaches.
Yeah, and like some of her students go to prison.
Elementary school?
Elementary school. They get older.
Oh, late. Okay.
But she does
second grade. Where's little Tyrone? He shot up a 7-Eleven.
He was slinging dope on the street.
He's doing 9 years.
There's fifth grade gangsters, dog.
Yeah, 100%. I know. I went to school in San Antonio. There's a lot of like MS-13 action and stuff out there. And when I originally got there, because we were a military family, so we bounced around. So when I got there at first, and I'd be in the neighborhood and this little like fourth grader would be like, hey, I'll kill you. You laugh it off because you're like, yeah, what are you going to do? Then they got a switchblade. And then they got these like big ass scary dudes that show up too if they need them to. And you're like, oh, damn. It doesn't matter if a fourth grader shoots you, it's going to hurt just as bad as if a grown man shoots you. Even stabbing maybe not. They might not have.
If a fourth grader whips out a knife, I think I can take them.
You could, but you could also die. A fourth grader could get you. They're low too. They could get you in the like ribs.
If you get hard while they stab you, there's something wrong there.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you getting hard at? Are you getting hard at the stab, or are you getting
maybe
hard
at that is the fourth grader,
at the very sexy child stabbing you? There's a difference.
It also depends on where they're stabbing you. If they're stabbing you right up the ass, how are you not going to go hard? This feels so perfect.
I guess that's our G spot. So,
are you black enough to the point where you're a little homophobic? Or is that not in you yet?
My mom was super liberal and she had like gay best friends. So I've been around the gays a lot. I like them. They're cool. As long as they don't try to shove their tongue up my ass or throat, I'm cool.
I love that is the mentality in most people. They're like, hey, be gay. Just don't try to butt fuck me. I'm like, I think that's how most people feel though. I think even other gay guys are like, hey, don't try to fuck me in the ass right now. I'm just chilling. Unless I invite you to.
Like, love is love. If you do it for the right reasons, cool. If you think I'm a cool person, cool. I'm going to friend zone you. But.
You don't think there's a man out there that could get you into it?
No.
Just like the coolest guy?
No.
What if Tony was like, how bad do you want to be a regular, Drew?
Stage time is stage time. You know?
Yeah, brother. That's the right mindset.
We got a goal. You know?
You're going to make it far in this.
Hey, I got on a month ago. How do you think I got on?
Hey.
I put a name in the bucket, then I put something else in his bucket.
Oh, God.
We're kidding. Fully kidding.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah, sure.
I don't suck dick.
Sucking dick.
No one said you suck.
You say
dick.
well.
Yeah, well.
That's good.
I have never sucked dick. Well. But I mean, you know, I've given it a shot or two.
I mean, who else hasn't tried to suck their own dick and you're like, I'm never going to do this to someone else?
I usually try it at least once a year because I'm like, maybe I've changed. Maybe
I got flexible enough.
I wonder what the percentage can actually do it.
Well, I think if you do enough yoga.
Can you look that up, Justin? What percent of
the
the population can suck their own dick?
Sorry, Justin. We gotta get a VPN for this podcast.
Going for you?
I don't think anyone is capable of doing it. I think taller would be harder. Don't you think? A taller guy, even if you did do yoga and you were in really good shape.
Got an answer.
Really?
7%.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
So this is probably just like natural. What is that picture?
Oh, wow. I mean, that does look like,
why is he doing it in a gym with other people?
Why are there other guys there?
I don't get the picture.
Maybe it's just showing that's how you get there.
That's how you get good abs.
Well, girls can eat their own pussies too. That's a thing.
I've heard about it.
Well, I looked that up. There are videos of that. That's crazy to me. Because that's insane.
You're gonna look up a video of a girl eating her own pussy?
I mean, we can watch it
Can you
together.
look up a video of a girl eating her own pussy?
We're not gonna be able to show it on the podcast, so ultimately we're just gonna be watching porn together.
We've done it almost every podcast.
We've done it. We've shown Kathy Bates' tits on this podcast at least 3 times now.
We'll
I
probably
got
show
gray
you later.
sweatpants, the uniform of a
Hey,
black
we're all
man. I'm
gonna be
ready.
all right.
Did
dude.
you get your dad's dick or your mom's dick?
I got my dad's dick.
That's
Nice.
good.
I don't know how to use it well, but you
That's
know.
fair enough. If it's
I'm
big
like-
enough, you don't.
You watch those TikTok videos of like a kid handling an AK-47.
Okay, you
And, like,
see,
shooting that?
you started that in a place where I thought it was a little weird that we were segueing from fat cocks, and you're like, you ever watch that TikTok video with the kids?
So,
oh,
hell yeah.
holy
A girl
shit!
eating her own pussy.
Damn, that
See
does
that?
not look like a woman.
Are these doctored?
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
it.
these look like dudes. They look like skinny guys.
not the cam teen licking her own pussy. The
Oh,
dog had them.
oh.
She looks okay.
Oh, look at that. That's
Oh.
fun.
Whoa.
Good for her.
I mean, I'm proud of her.
Whoa.
Look, if your daughter's doing porn, you're not happy about it, but then you find out she's one of the few girls eating her own sniz. You're like, well, at least
You
she's
gotta bring her back for
Talent, dog.
Christmas.
She's got other abilities. She's not just one of those dull women. Oh God, she could probably reach her ass. She is going at it.
Oh yeah, she's aggressive.
See, that looks a little doctored. That looks like it might just.
that doesn't look like a
Doesn't
real
that look
ass.
fake?
You think that's just a fake butt and
Or it's like her
Listen.
friend doing a headstand.
that's a good point. I don't like to be lied to about girls eating their own
I
pussy.
hate
It's
shit
almost like
that.
I want to watch the beginning to see her get into that position, so we know it's not fake.
That's a good point.
I'm gonna put my money down. I bet it starts like that. Wait, we have to be straight to watch this? That's bullshit. What is this?
I'm black and I'm not.
Why do you
not
need to give your
homophobic.
fucking sexual orientation?
See, it is gonna start.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
dude, this is
that might not be
bullshit.
real.
This is
That's
lie.
fucking bullshit.
We
What's
ca-
this girl's name? Let's out this whore. I hate shit like that.
Let's
Don't
find
lie.
her DMs.
This is probably how people felt about Mini Vanilli.
I'm just looking
About
right
lip
into
syncing.
her. I'm looking directly into her asshole.
yeah.
I saw how I was gonna die.
Eye contact.
Hell yeah. So, how long were you doing comedy before you? Because Kill Tony, started for you like 2 months ago, 3 months ago? Still
In
fairly new, right?
April. In April.
You started in April?
No,
No. That
Oh, that's
was
when you
I
got Kill
on.
Tony.
Yeah.
Like the end of April.
Oh.
So I've been doing it 6 years, and I took it really, really seriously like 2 years ago. Where I was
Okay.
like, I think I could do something magical. When I found my voice, I found how I like to have fun on stage. I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life, kind of. And so,
the kind of is definitely always there.
you know, because you're like, I don't know if this is going to be a career, but it's something that I want to do.
It's
for the
almost
rest of my life.
scarier when it starts feeling like it might be a career. There's so much more pressure because now you're like, it becomes a little less fun. Because when it is in the beginning, you're just like, who knows where this is going to go? But I'm having a good time.
It's
And it's
the
a cool
ride.
thing to try. And yeah, you get to do everything so new and fresh. And then, yeah, once you get to the point where you're like, I can maybe make something out of this, it almost loses steam a little bit.
When people have expectations of you and you feel people disappointed because you bombed,
Yeah.
that's when you're like, okay, this is different, you know. And so I've been doing comedy for that long, and I love comedy. I love making people happy. That's where I get my adrenaline. It's just making people happy, having people be like, whoa, I had a bad day, but that guy made me happy. He's just having fun. He's being himself. And like after I got my head injury, I understood that I didn't like myself for a long time. And people don't understand when you get something that changes who you are, it will. I was an alcoholic really badly.
After you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like before, I would have like maybe 3-4 drinks, be cool. But then after I got it, I had a real problem. And I mean, I've been battling it, but I've been almost 4 years sober now.
Hell
And
yeah,
so
dude. Congrats.
we've been working really hard to just find myself liking me, and being on stage is when I like myself the most. And so that's why I was like, I need to do this. And then I decided to try to sign up for Kill Tony. And once I didn't get on for the first 3 months, I was like, I gotta sign up until I get on. I can't
Yeah.
quit.
At that point, you got to commit to it.
Exactly. And so I had a whole schedule. I'd work midnight to 8 a.m. Sunday. So Monday at 8 a.m., I'd get off work. I'd sleep for 3 hours. And then I would drive to Austin, sign up for Kill Tony, not get on Kill Tony, do the 3-minute mic that Sam used to run, Sam Hunter. And he would
That
bump
was here,
me in.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He would bump me in. I would do 3 minutes of comedy, and then I would drive home.
Where were you living? Where you were driving?
In the middle of DFW.
Oh,
Oh,
shit!
okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
So I was
you
doing
were fucking
3 hour. I was doing 6 hour round trip.
and that's a hard drive sometimes too because of the fucking traffic as well.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Especially when you're like really sleepy. And then that's how I got hooked on energy drinks. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we call them energy drinks too. They feel good.
No, I have sinus
I'm just
problems. I
kidding.
can't do cocaine, dog. I got too many sinus problems. And one time when I was in College Station, I used to do a lot of cocaine. I get more concerned about me drinking energy drinks than I ever did doing cocaine.
That makes sense because they're easier.
But one time I did a big fat line. I think I was with a couple A&M basketball players and a couple of my friends, and we all did like fat lines. And we were in Northgate, which is like the 6th Street of College Station.
Yeah,
And there was
Yeah,
a
I've been
cop
out there.
that knew me, and I came in and I had the drip hit right
Oh,
as I talked to the fucking cop, and he just knew it, and he said Nickens because he knew I was prior military. Get the fuck out my face, and that's
Oh,
when I was
damn.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't need to do cocaine ever again.
the drip can be fun or scary. You
It's
never know.
scary
Well, when
you
you're
don't-
talking to an officer.
when you're gambling with your drug, like when you know, okay, in 5 minutes I'm gonna get a drip,
Mhm.
but when you don't know if it's gonna be 5 or 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and you just don't know what life's gonna throw at you, you're like, no.
That's why it's so fun.
Coke is a gamble.
Coke is a
It
gamble.
really is. Because first off, nowadays it's a real gamble with fentanyl and stuff out there.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But I don't think in Austin, as far as I know, there's never been any fentanyl-laced cocaine. I think we're okay because we're so close to the border, and I think a lot of that stuff happens the more it's in the states for a long time.
I feel like we're part of the trafficking pipeline. because
Yeah,
when I
we're
drive
right
from,
in it for sure.
when I drive from Dallas to Austin, Austin to Dallas, there's always people getting pulled over.
Mhm.
And I just feel like you never know who has 52 kilos in their trunk.
Well, you go down. We went down to Laredo to do comedy, and you have to go through a checkpoint to get into not even to get into Mexico, like just get into that part of
Mhm.
Texas. You go through a full checkpoint that's just like crossing the border. Basically, they stop
Right.
you. They'll maybe ask for your ID. Usually, just the driver. If everyone seems chill, they don't ask for everyone else. So, and it sucks because Laredo does have the best cocaine in the world. But it's like Disney World. You go there and you do it there. The fun is there. You can't take it home with you. The magic stays in Laredo.
I went on a bender when I was in the Air Force. We had a 3-day like holiday thing.
Is
for
that-
basic training?
So I've heard that before. Is it so popular, you think, because it gets out of your system very quickly? Because they drug test you guys a lot, right, in the military?
Yeah, and they drug tested me a lot when I was in the military. It
Did
was
you pass?
all the time?
Because what is cocaine, like 2 days?
Yeah, and
That's not. And if you're in shape, too, I'm sure you were probably working out and stuff in the military, right?
yeah, and I drank a shit ton of water with my
Mhm.
energy drinks, so I was good. But one time we went all the way down to El Paso from San Antonio,
Oh, that's far as hell.
and I
it's like
drank
8 hours.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and I drank a bunch of fucking Red Stag, and then took the wheel.
Oh, fuck.
Dog,
Sounds like a good night.
do you ever feel alcohol leaving your system as you're on the wheel and
Yeah.
you're just like,
No,
yo.
but yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, I would never drive drunk. I've never
But if you did it well, and you're still alive.
Yeah.
exactly. But that's hypothetically. I'd never do that. Just like we've never had cocaine in Laredo.
No, well,
right?
this is all an act. This
Exactly.
is we're comedians.
We're
It's
riffing.
satire.
The riff is real,
Oh,
as
yeah.
Casey Rocket would say.
How has the transition been? Because we've talked to like Uncle Laser, and I've known Hans Kim since I started comedy, so I've known him for years. So I was fairly
Oh, yeah,
close
you're
to
a
him.
Seattle boy, right?
Well, started in Seattle, started
Yeah.
comedy, not really from there, but have gotten to talk to guys, and like Uncle Laser especially is like, it's so crazy especially when you haven't been doing comedy for a super long time, and you get that up, like Cam Patterson too, you get that spotlight on you, because now it's like you're getting better, but getting better in comedy also involves not doing well sometimes, bombing, trying new stuff out. And when you got that spotlight on you, I assume it's not easy to continue like climbing the ladder because everyone's fucking watching you. So every time you miss a ring on the ladder, everyone's going to fucking notice.
Well, like people don't realize when everything happened, I still had to drive from Dallas to Austin till August when I moved here. So like I was still on that work till 8 a.m., get here. And I had to have a minute every week. And the first 2 weeks, I did 6 minutes worth of material, which is literally 10 minutes of my 20 minutes I had.
And it's so just for people that I'm sure most people watching this know, but you go out if someone bombs, right? Isn't that the format of it?
That's what. And so I don't even know when I'm going up either.
You just hang out because I see you back there. When
I'm just hanging.
Yeah, when I
there.
go backstage, because I work at Mothership, so when I go backstage, sometimes I was eating a sandwich and I just see Drew just fucking
and I go,
in the wings. You are always nice to see. Yeah, you always have something really nice to say.
and then I come in and I work my minute 50 million times. But like when I was writing, Dallas is really hard to get to mics because everything's 45 minutes away. So I could get maybe 1 or 2 mics a night, and it was just really hard to write all these minutes. Now that I live here, I get a bunch of shows and I get a bunch of stage time.
I'm sure.
Now I can finally get these minutes where I'm like 3-4 minutes ahead, and I know what I'm doing. I'm cleaning stuff up. I'm listening to them. I'm listening to game tape, and making sure that everything's right. And so when the first week, everyone loved me. And then they were like, don't look at Reddit. I was like, oh, it's not going to be that bad. The second week, I didn't like myself for a long time. And I finally was starting to like myself. And then I look at Reddit. And then I look at I couldn't even be on the Mothership posts because they'd be like, fuck Drew Nickens. He needs to die.
Christ.
Fuck this charity case. And I'm just like,
look, man, can I be honest? I was having a really bad night. I'm sorry I posted that so many times.
You do that.
It's just
you
me
were on
20
Reddit.
times.
Exactly. You on Reddit before
You spent all night
I'm sorry
making a
I
bunch
made
of fake
100 accounts. Drew Nickens sucks 1. Drew Nickens sucks 2.
And then,
Damn, Adam.
and then I see, oh, and he's watching videos of him watching women eat their own pussy. That's
I know who that is.
I know who that is. He's right there.
Damn it, he caught me.
And so
You know me too well.
It's been really, that's been the tough part to adjust to. And it's also been tough to adjust to everyone going, oh my God, Drew. Because I was an outcast for a long time. So having people be excited to see me is still kind of whoa.
Yeah.
And
I get that for sure.
And women having a positive opinion of me romantically sometimes is crazy.
Yeah.
So we're working on that and trying to figure out.
Well, you had consensual sex for the first time recently, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm not a virgin,
never
but
raped
I did.
anybody.
That's badass.
Yeah, I know. Not raping somebody.
That's pretty
Whoa.
killer.
Wait a minute. You
hey,
never?
No.
For a male comedian, a white male comedian, to say I've never
Hey,
raped
I'm
before.
half black, dog.
That's a good point. You got both sides.
The black side respects hoes. I mean women,
The black side respects women?
Hoes. I mean women.
Since when?
Hoes.
Well, they play the game.
They play the game.
Don't hate the player.
Fair enough.
Hate the game, dog. Well, it's funny because Kill Tony, I've been listening to Kill Tony for I'd say at least 6-7 years maybe. When I used to work at Walmart back in Tacoma, I would always listen to it. It's just I listen to so many podcasts just because when you're working a dead end shitty job, podcasts kind of rule because it just gives you something to do and focus on instead of the fact that your life is going nowhere. And I remember listening to the first episode where David Lucas got on and became a regular and all that. So I've watched so many. There isn't a regular on Kill Tony that the Kill Tony fans haven't turned on at least once.
They're kind of
Maddie.
assholes.
Yet. That's the thing is I think he's staying above water for a while. And look, I love Ari Maddie. I know Ari. He's the greatest, one of the nicest guys ever. But it'll happen. I guarantee you it will happen. The Kill Tony fans, and I know I'm not trying to get you in trouble or anything. I work every Kill Tony show usually because I'm usually working those nights. And it's a lot of people that wanted to do comedy or did it a couple times and never really committed to it, but they're very judgmental of it. And I think that's kind of where they like to be. They like to be in the seat of like judging, but not having to actually do it themselves. And I think that's where the turn kind of comes from, because they'll like it at first when they're like, oh, this guy doesn't have a lot, came in here, crushed, now he's rising. And then when the rise starts to happen, I think they kind of turn because they're like, oh, well, fuck this guy now. Now he's just some comedian that's headlining clubs. Like, I don't give a shit about him anymore.
Well, like,
not everyone. There's some great Kill Tony fans also, I will say. I did Kill Tony and I had a blast. And I've done a lot of shows when the arena Kill Tony shows were in town, when they did the HEB Center, we sold out my show here, the Filthy Show stand-up show, like 200 people. And one of the best crowds we've ever had. And then Cam Patterson came right from the arena to here and then asked for... That's how cool Cam is. Asked for a spot. Was like, hey, do you have room for me? If not, it's totally fine. And I'm like, you can go right now. Like, you can go up during this guy's set. I don't give a fuck. And then when I brought him out, it was like I brought fucking Dave Chappelle out. Not because he's black, but because of the response. Everyone like literally got on their feet and started clapping. It was awesome. They are some of the best like crowds to do comedy for. But at the same time, there is a percentage of them that really, really like to judge, which makes sense because that's kind of what the whole show is based off of, is judging comedians.
I think one of the things that I've realized is there's some people that don't have shit going on in their lives. And Kill Tony is one of the pillars of excitement that they have. And if they don't completely like who you are and they have to see your face and they don't like you, they want to have control of their show.
Yeah.
So if they don't want you, they will voice, nah, get Drew out of here. Drew's awful. Drew's this. And like, then you have these savants, and like Ari Matty's a pro. But
he's been doing it for a while.
He's been doing it a while. He's one of the best in the business. He's been doing it a while. He's all put together. He's the total package because he's been doing it. He's one of the best in the business, bar none.
He was on the up already too.
He wasn't even a bucket. Like a lot of people don't realize he wasn't even a bucket pull. Sam and Adam Egget saw him sign up and said, "You need to get this guy up there." And it was right after the Heath thing, and he got up there, destroyed, and then now he's one of the. I say he's going to be selling out arenas in 2 years. That's how good that guy is.
With how Kill Tony is, I mean, Kill Tony's selling out arenas, and he seems to be the most like consistently liked comedian. You very rarely see people. You click. I think personally, like if I had to choose, and no offense to anyone who's on Kill Tony, I think any of all the people who are associated with Kill Tony, like the comics who have like gotten big followings from it, I think Casey Rocket's the best one. And I don't even mean that in the sense that I personally find him the funniest of all of it. I've watched Casey for the last 3 years since he moved to Austin. And I'll say at first, I didn't really personally get it that much. I heard all the hype and I would watch it and I was like, yeah, you know, it's a little sporadic. It's kind of hard to really see the jokes in it. But then you start to realize when you watch him over and over again how much work he puts into it. And like it really is an act. It's not just him going up there and saying sporadic crazy shit. Like it's planned to the T for the most part. You know, he riffs some of it, but
when I saw him do 45, I came the only show that I've ever came to the mothership and like came into the green room and then went out to watch was Casey Rocket and Friends. And he did 45 minutes and he just crushed. You could tell he was sporadic, but he also had ways and you could see it was a full act. He didn't like waver. He didn't slow down. You could tell it was just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And he's unique. He's doing something that no one else is really doing.
For sure. And it's just him. And it's not because he's trying to be different. It's not because, like, I've seen a lot of comments where people are like, he just gets high and goes on stage. He's fully sober, first off. Been sober for a long time. He was not sober when I first met him and then got sober very quickly after I met him. And I've known him for like almost 4 years. So he's fully sober at this point. And yeah, this is his act. And he's the number one that when I see clips and I look at the comments, you always know. I always click on the comments knowing there's going to be the top comment is always, this guy is not funny at all.
Well, I was talking to my dad because my dad watches Kill Tony now. And he's like, I don't know about Casey. I said, keep watching. You'll get it. And then he's starting to finally get it. And he's like, okay, this guy's special. He's funny. And I think it's a taste thing.
Yeah, I mean, like you'll watch it and you'll get it, or you don't get it. And I personally think the best art, and I always like pull back from calling comedy art because it's just so silly at the end of the day, like what we do. Like we just go up there and just basically say nonsense, talk about our dicks. But it is an art form at the end of the day, whether you want to shit on it or not. But I think the best kinds of art are the stuff that's not for everybody, because that way the people it is for, it's going to connect to them even more, because it's not just like, oh, let me get together a comedy act that I know is sellable and everyone's going to like, and that's why I'm doing this. Rather than that, you're like, let me do what I think is funny. And then if people connect with it, that's great. And that's exactly what he's doing. That's just what he thinks is funny. That's what like works in his mind when he goes up there and does comedy. And like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you put together everyone's top 5 favorite comedians of all comedians, you're gonna get so many different answers. And like my top 5 is so different than anyone else's, because I love Ralphie May, Patrice, David Spade, Wanda Sykes, and who was my 5th one? I had it in my head right now. And Corey Holcomb.
Oh, yeah, Corey Holcomb.
I mean, Adam Luckey.
You're like, well, 6. I was doing my top 6 for sure.
But like those were and Sam J is like a 6, because Sam J and Wanda Sykes are what got me into comedy, was 2 lesbian black women. That's what got me into comedy and said, I should try it out.
Yeah.
And then boom. And so we all have to look at it through a different lens, and that's why comedy is so beautiful, because you have Casey Rocket and you have David Lucas, and they can be on the same show. Yeah. They have 2 different
wildly
styles.
Different. And I think one thing that a lot of people forget, comedy is a live thing. Comedy needs to be seen live. Like it works when you watch it or listen to it album-wise, but you never really fully get someone's act unless you see it in person. And Casey's like the number one. No matter how many times I see someone comment and say this guy's not funny, I'm like, I've probably seen this guy do over 60 live sets, and every single time he created some kind of energy in that room. Whether they got it or not, the energy in that room was much different. And I'd say the vast majority of the time it was fucking the hardest I've ever seen someone crush who didn't already have a massive name behind them. Like someone go out there who, because I've seen him perform when no one knew who he was, and would go out there. And I've never seen someone who with no name can go out there and do what he does to a room. So I get that it's different and people don't always get it. But with him specifically, that makes me the most upset when I see people just say he's not funny, because you don't think he's funny. That's the thing, is like people forget that if they don't think something's funny, that doesn't mean it's not funny. It just means they don't think it's funny. That's what I say about rape.
And that's one of I like how you just put something wild right afterwards.
I was being too genuine. I had to get
you were like, something's not right.
This isn't called the Suck Casey Rocket's Dick Show. But the Filthy Show.
But like what I've been trying to do is perform for the people inside and not worry about the millions. And that's what my real goal is when I get on stage. Give the people inside something special. And it'll translate to film, or if it doesn't.
Yeah, because you're performing for them.
It's for them. It's not for the other people that are watching and everything of that nature. It's for the people inside. And my first episode went well because the crowd inside got it. After my interview, they got it. And I don't think I'll ever experience that electric energy like I did that first night, because I didn't know I was going to do 4 separate minutes. I didn't know
how did that exactly come about? Because I was there that night. I haven't watched it recorded. I just remember, because we go in and out of the room. I just remember coming in and out of the room multiple times and seeing you back up there and being like, what the fuck? Like, why is this happening?
So game time, I get pulled, and like Christy, super excited that I'm there. Everybody in the staff was amazing. So I get up, I do my first minute, and it just wasn't very good. It was good, but it wasn't very good. And then my interview happens, and they start getting electric. And then I get off stage, and they're like, oh, you killed it. We want you to stay. We want you to hang out with us at Mitzi's afterwards. Okay, cool. So I get back there, and I'm right behind the sound booth. And the next bucket pool goes up, and he's just the most unlikable guy. I felt so bad, because you could just tell he was just the worst, like the total opposite of, I like to make people happy. It's like, I make 100,000 and want to fuck bitches. Like, just the worst possible energy.
Chris, you could have tried a little harder that night. You fucking suck.
Yeah,
I did the best I
sex
could.
with so many women.
I try to fuck Chris's stuff now.
Hey, but no, and then one of the producers comes up to me and goes, "Tony's never done this before. Do you have another minute?" I said, "I can make one."
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
And so I'm like in my head going, what can I do? What can I do? And they're walking me back there, and I get back there, and Heidi gives me a massage, and then I go out there and I do my battle rap minute.
Somebody gave you a massage?
Heidi just goes, "Oh, you're doing great."
Who the
Nice.
fuck is Heidi?
That's the hot girl that brings
the
stuff
hot
out.
girl that serves the drinks.
Oh.
Really nice lady. One of the best people I've ever
She
met.
is really nice. I've talked to her before.
she's
She's a sweet
incredible.
person. Yeah.
Okay.
But then, so I go out, I do my battle rap minute. It crushes. And you could tell when I came out, the whole crowd was like, yeah. And I've watched it enough now where I watch everyone's faces because no one knows except for Tony and Red Band.
Yeah.
And you could tell. And they were like, it was just disbelief. And then when I came out and I crushed, because the first thing I say is back in the 90s. And they were like, whoa. And I got this huge pop and then just went in.
So you did a minute that you would normally rap? Did you rap it or you just did it as
no. So I talk about things and then I talk about my bad.
Oh, it's a
past.
minute
That was-
about battle rap.
That, yeah,
I thought you just went out there
I
and
used
battle
to battle
rap.
rapper. I used to be a battle rapper. I was terrible.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, mid-head injury. So my life was falling
Mid-head
apart.
injury?
Was that your MC name? Mid-head injury? MC mid-head injury?
It was like I would have rather done gay porn than do battle rap.
That's crazy.
Oh,
really?
It hurts more than gay porn?
Dog.
Do you think you'd be better at gay porn?
Oh, dog. I don't suck dick well, but I know I probably could have given good facial
You
expressions.
spit cum better than you spit rhymes?
Exactly, dog. Motherfuckers be having me like a rotisserie. Never mind. Anyway,
Would you do it again?
gay porn or battle rap?
Both.
Can you battle rap
I'm
Adam
the
right
king
now?
of cock. There ain't none gayer.
Can you two do a battle rap?
I can't do it without saying retarded or the N-word. So.
Hey, you're black. You can give Adam the pass.
No,
The
he's not
R-word
black
pass?
enough.
The N-word pass.
You could actually
Oh,
probably
and the R-word pass.
I got you, dog. I can give you that one.
You're a fucking superhuman of slurs, dude. It's crazy.
It's like someone
I
asked.
don't even say them that much.
But you can.
You
I
do.
know.
It's like someone that was like, "Would you rather be retarded or black?" And you were like, "Give me a little of both."
I'm going to be the biggest comic in the world.
I'm special.
I'm gonna take a half of both.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dog.
But then she came in and said, "Do you?" And then he said, "Oh, every time someone bombs, we're gonna bring up to." And I'm like,
That night.
That night.
Okay.
And so
Hell yeah.
I was back there. They had a little chair, and I was sitting in this little chair, going, "What is happening? I need to think of another minute." And then by the third minute, she's like, "You can have your phone now." And so I had my phone, and I'm looking.
So you didn't
up
even have your
jokes.
phone during all this. Your phone was still
during
locked
the
up.
first 3 minutes. I didn't have my phone, so I had
Damn.
to think of jokes. And then the fourth one,
Also,
Well-
for people that don't know, that's for a comedian, that's not easy to not have access to like your notes and your jokes. Like it's not always up there. And then also in a situation like that where you're very nervous, when I got pulled, I was trying to go over like what minute I should do, and I had to pull my phone out and like look at like the best minute for it.
The only time I thought about my minute was when I grabbed the mic on stage.
All right, faggot.
I'm like, okay, I'll just tell this
but
joke.
you had been on like what 4 times?
That was
3
my
times?
fourth time.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like you
It was my
knew-
second time, but my first time at Mothership.
When they
His
told
first
me-
time at Mothership too. Though.
When they told me I was called up, I didn't even know the show started.
Yeah, his reaction was like, "The show started," and they're like, "Yes, come on." He's like, "I don't think the show started yet." They're like, "It did, and you're called. Come on."
And I'm just like, fine, I'll walk. I'll go. I was just walking as the security guy is fucking running.
It's weird. Yeah, they rushed you so hard, and then it was like 9 minutes. But I get
Yeah.
that. They got to have you back there. You never know what's going to happen.
It's so crazy because like when I'm back there, you see me where I'm at,
Yeah.
and
You're
I
just
know
hanging out in
when
the hall.
someone I now have the radar of okay, this guy's
You got a
like
feeling.
when I see him, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I can go pee. Or if I see, other people, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like when I saw you, I was like, any mothership guy I know.
Anyone in a wheelchair, you're like, I'll be back in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't have to.
Oh man, I'm not going to be a regular anymore. You're going to bump me.
A black midget walks up, you're like, I'm going home.
All right, I'm moving back to Dallas.
Oh god.
I'm fine.
Beetlejuice from Howard Stern, as they bring him in like Hannibal Lecter. You're like, well, fuck, I quit.
But then when I see certain now that I was being called an Austin comic when I didn't live in Austin.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm only here on Monday, so like, no, but you're part of the scene. And so
We'll Kill Tony will make you part of the scene very quickly too.
and like, so now I know some of the ones where I'm like, okay, I gotta get ready.
Yeah.
I know high possibility.
Well, I'm sure you know just by the minute, right? Because
When I'm listening
just as
to
the minute ends, you're probably like, okay, this could be. I assume though, if the minute goes bad, but then the interview goes well, they don't bring you out.
Yeah.
Right? Is that how it goes?
Yeah. And if I know someone's interesting enough because I know them well enough, I'm like, okay, they still can win them over in a minute.
Fair.
And there were a couple times on Monday where I was like, ooh. And then even some people were like, hey, be like mid stairs. We might need you. And then I'm like,
Have
and then
50,
they would
50.
have a really good minute. And I'm like, or a really good interview. And I'm like, okay, thank God.
Have you, and just complete honesty, have you followed a bomb and then bombed? Has that happened yet?
Yes.
What's that like? That's gotta not feel great, right?
It's actually on the biggest episode in Kill Tony history.
Was it at one of the arena
Joe
shows?
Biden, no, it was the
Oh,
Joe, Biden
Trump
Trump
one?
episode.
Damn.
I saved it by having a dance battle with Joe Biden, aka
Okay.
Adam Ray,
There
and
you
I
go.
thought of that on my own because
You brought it up.
because Tony was like, "I need you to dance." And then I'm like, okay, how do I save this? And I go, Joe Biden, you can't beat me in a dance battle. And you can hear it in Tony's voice go, you're challenging Joe Biden to a dance battle? And Joe Biden, Adam Ray being the superstar he is,
Adam
the best
Ray,
in the fucking game.
He's the best at playing on that show.
Oh,
he
and
plays so well.
And then we save it. But then I had to drive back to Dallas that night. And it was 10:30 at night. I didn't think I was going on. There was someone else backstage, so I thought they were going to bring him out. He was going to go out, and then I hear, "I'm gonna consider that a bomb," and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" That's like keyword for Drew. Get ready, 30 seconds.
So every episode, it's like when like everybody bombs, you go on next.
No,
or it's just one person,
like if someone bombs, they'll bring me to reset the room.
and that's just one time per show.
Yeah, because I can't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can't. Keep
Well, and
doing
it's also,
that.
dude, it's the episode I was on. Almost everyone fucking bombed.
Yeah,
Because I was so excited for that to come out, and the response for what I got was totally fine. Like I didn't get shit on or anything, which I'm proud of, and that's all you can really ask for ultimately when you go up. I got some followers from it, more in person compliments than anything, honestly.
Yeah,
But I forever didn't watch the episode, didn't go to the comments for like a week just because I was like, I'm too scared to do it. And then finally I was just like, fuck it. I started scrolling through the comments and all the comments were just like, this episode sucks, not funny, not good. Most people are like, I didn't even make it halfway through. Everyone only cared about the Jeremy character that Adam Ray did.
Oh yeah,
That's all anyone really cared about in the character. So in a way I was like, that kind of makes me feel good because then it's like I'm not specifically the reason why anyone hates this episode, but I ended up watching the whole thing and almost every single bucket pool bombed.
Well,
And my minute went pretty well. And then my interview, I think, was better than my minute, honestly, because I played around a lot. And I know Tony Hinchcliffe a lot. I did it 4 years ago. Had never met Tony before, had never met Red Band, so super nervous. But I think that made my minute go better. And then my interview was like, okay. And then I got Secret Show from that. So yeah, and then so recently it's like I've been in Austin 4 years. I know Tony, I know Brian. Don't know Adam that well, but ironically, I ended up playing off of Adam the most. Like I was having the most fun going off with him because he's just so good with matching anyone's energy, especially in that character. Because the whole thing was like, I look just like you.
Yeah.
I was like, your character is a shitty open micer, and then I'm here looking like you.
And character episodes are the toughest because now it's not about the bucket pools. It's about the character.
for
What's
sure.
the character going to do next? They're more interested, and that's how it's supposed to be. You got one of the best doing a character. You want to see how they react. You want to hear from them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really hard for the bucket pools to stand out as much. It's nobody's fault. It's just the audience is captivated by them. So you really have to put a spotlight on yourself and do something. And
you have to stand out for sure. And I don't think necessarily like being super funny makes people stand out on Kill Tony anymore. I think there was a time where it does, because like my buddy Jordan Shelby. You know him, right?
Jordan, he was on my episode.
He's
one of the best.
He was on that episode where you went up, and I would say he's one of the best joke writers in Austin. He's fucking incredible. His delivery is really fun and perfect for Kill Tony too.
Mm-hmm.
His Minute Murdered, he did great, and he got some stuff from it, but it's like he was so goddamn funny. Like you would think like that's gonna be the guy. Like that guy is gonna like get more, but at the end of the day, he's just another like white dude comic that just did comedy. And I think Kill Tony fans, they always want a little something else. Like if he would have limped up there.
but also he works at the mothership.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you are a mothership door guy, there is this expectation that this is because you guys are some of the best comics in the country. If you are a door guy, it's because you are the best of the best.
Well, I ate out Adam Egan's butthole.
Yeah. Adam's terrible at comedy. He's good at looking ass.
Yeah.
He's great at it.
Yeah,
I didn't think we got Drew on the podcast.
Hawk Tua doesn't just work for blowjobs, everybody.
Yeah.
You give a little Hawk Tua.
I'll give you a
It
little
works for a
bit.
big hairy ass.
I gave you a little shit to it, dude.
Yeah,
shit.
dog. He was like, I want to eat out that Black Hats. Anyways.
That's exactly what I said.
Exactly. But like those when the mothership guys go on, they're so great and they're so good that it's really, I think they don't need the platform as much because
Hey,
you
Drew.
guys.
Yeah, we
They
do.
do.
I would love to be able to headline comedy clubs. Are you kidding me?
But you're gonna get there.
It's just another 8 years.
But like I'm not gonna be able to like realistically, I'm a feature comic and I know that. But I'm doing like little Thursday and Sunday shows to just kind of get some income and get better. And I got 25 minutes that I'm working on.
Well, and that's why you're gonna get better too, is because you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And like Cam was the same way. When Cam first got what he got, he was like, I'm getting all these headline offers and I'm not ready for that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he fucking, pen to paper, worked his ass off and got to that point because he knew that it was there. So, he went a lot faster than a lot of people would in that situation, and now is headlining and killing it.
He's got a strong 45. I saw him do 45 minutes just.
Yeah, and he's so likable. He can just fucking get up there and go.
But him and Ari are so special. And people got to understand that, like, everyone else that gets these golden ticket offers and are part of the show, sometimes it's a building process. And I think that's what I am. I'm building. I'm learning. I'm growing.
One thing I've noticed, too, I feel like with Kill Tony fans is, and I've seen this watching the crowds, because when I watch the show, I'm in the back, so you can kind of see everything. And whenever someone gets up there and if they do really, really well, and then Tony's like, so how long you been doing it? If they say anything like over 6 years, there's almost a pullback. They're almost like, oh, well, this guy should be big by now.
Yeah.
Because like their mindset, they don't understand that like six-year comic is still a baby. 10-year comic is almost a baby. I mean, you're lucky if you're become a headliner within your first 12 years. Like that's usually how it goes. I think Kill Tony has kind of changed the spectrum a little bit for it. Emphasis on spectrum. But
Hell yeah.
But it's I can tell because to them, and I've talked to some Kill Tony fans because they're like, I signed up and I'm like, nice. Have you done comedy before? And they're like, no. I was like, all right, so it'll probably go bad. They're like, or I go up there and I crush, and then I'm going to be like Cam Patterson. And I was like, Cam Patterson may have only been doing comedy for 2 years, but he had been doing comedy.
And he was featuring in clubs.
He was working his ass off. Yeah.
When you're 2 years in and you actually get legitimate club spots, you're a lot better than 90% of the people.
That's how Adam started. He was getting a lot of legitimate club spots.
But the only reason I did is because they held a competition at the Tacoma Comedy Club where it was like 200 comics. Do you know the show The Voice?
Yeah.
The singing show? They did that, but they did the comedy voice. and anyone could sign up for it, and you got to audition, and then they would have like some upper tier comics from the scene sit with their back to you. They liked you, they turned around, and I won that. So the prize was a year of host spots. And I was maybe, I'd say 10, 11 months in when that happened. So when you're less than a year comic and you get guaranteed year of host spots, that's massive. And it makes you better too, because now you're like, I have to do good because I'm doing these regardless. I don't want to bomb them.
I see these 2-year comics that are getting way better, way stronger, and then I realize, well, they've been getting show spots consistently since they were 6 months in. Of course, you're going to be better than someone who's been doing it 4 years and can't get more than an open mic spot, because show spots are going to get you better, and they're going to get you sharper, because when you're in front of a real audience that pays, you have this game. There's a different feel.
They're there for this.
Exactly.
And they're looking at you as the guy that got on the show that they paid for, and they assume you're a comedian.
But
whether you are or not, they assume that you're good enough to be there.
I will argue that won't make you better at comedy.
It can.
You
though.
do good. Yeah, but you still, you need to do those shitty spots. Like bomb, realize you're not as good as you may think.
But if you're getting consistent showtime mixed in with those mic spots,
You're getting more.
That's exactly what it has to be. You have to do both. It can't be one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's the main problem with Austin. I've probably said this over and over on the podcast, so I'll try to keep it quick, but it's not a good place to come and start. You can't start. You can start here. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm sure some people will start here and do incredible. I'm not trying to single anyone out or anything. I've seen some guys do pretty good from it, but ultimately, you're not going to learn a lot from going out to all these shitty open mics in Austin and never getting show spots. And you won't get show spots, because while you're grinding for 2 years and maybe you're getting better, but all these motherfucking killers are moving here and leapfrogging right over your ass because they've done 4 or 5 years in a smaller scene where they got to go on the road with guys, meet headlining comics that liked them and gave them spots on their shows and learned so much. Maybe done some festivals. Like, you're not going to be getting that if you're just going to open mics in Austin over and over again.
No.
I'm like, go to San Antonio. It's right there.
This is a national hub now. It's New York, LA, Denver, Austin.
Yeah, I would say we're above Denver for sure. I don't know if you were ranking in that order, but I think I would say we're under New York and LA, but I think we're better than Denver right now.
And Chicago.
As far
we're probably
as
above Chicago.
And Boston. Like when I talk about some of the better scenes that I hear about, it's like Denver, Boston, us, New York, LA.
Yeah, well, and I think I don't know if I'd say it as much now, but my whole argument was always like, Austin might not be as good as New York and LA, but we're one of the best places to go when you think, okay, I've outgrown my scene. I've been here. I've done all the club work. I've gone on the road. I'm to the point where, like, all the top comedians in my scene, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be the guy that's 45 and has lived in Seattle for the last 17 years. And his biggest credit is that he fucking got to see Bill Hicks one time. Like, I don't want to do that. So to come here with experience, that was, to me, like the best possible move. Like, and I came here at a point where I would sign up for mics and people would be like, so did you just start comedy? I'm like, no, I moved here from Seattle. They're like, you moved to Austin for comedy? Like, why would you do that? I was like, well, I mean, Rogan moved here and Hinchcliffe is here. So I figured the scene's going to grow around that. And it just did over and over. It is to the point now, though, where moving here is a risk. It's not an easy place to stand out.
Yeah.
It helps I think LA people are going to benefit the most because of the mothership, because the mothership has ties to LA. I've seen some people come from LA and they automatically have a little foot in the door because they already know EGIT and they already, everyone that works at the mothership worked at the Comedy Store. All the, like, upper tier staff, not the door guys and stuff. So
Posted and Asan.
Yeah, Posted and Asan. Those guys came here. And to be fair, those guys were here way before the wave as well. Yeah. Derek Poston got here before this place was open.
Yeah.
I met Derek when I had lived here.
Derek wasn't here before Creek opened.
Derek was absolutely here before Creek opened. Derek performed, I think, on one of the first shows I did at the Creek in the Cave. It was an outdoor show for 6 people. And Rebecca Trent was sitting in the back because it was like one of their first showcases they had done that was booked by a comedian. Dylan Sullivan put it on.
Oh, yeah.
So she was looking for people for her roster, and we all knew that. And we were all doing like 20 minutes. So we get there, and there's 6 people in the crowd. including Rebecca. So it's
no.
like I'm basically auditioning for work right now in front of 5 people. And I had to I followed Derek Poston.
Oh,
so
no.
that was the first time and I had heard of him before because I listened to a lot of comedy podcasts. So I'd heard his name mentioned and I knew he was good, but then I had to watch him do 20 minutes and I was like, well, literally everything's against me right now. But it went all right.
Oh, Derek Poston's probably the best in Austin, in my opinion.
I mean, outside of like the top dome comics, I think Shane Gillis is better than Derek Poston.
Well, yeah, you don't talk about that. I'm talking about like just like people we come in contact with.
Yeah, Derek is an absolute monster. I'm surprised he's doing well. I'm surprised he's not bigger than he is right now, honestly.
Oh yeah.
But like to me, when I think of Austin, I don't see the Mothership as a local club. My mindset that the Mothership, that is a national club
in Austin.
The best, like I don't expect to be able to be passed or do a bunch of shows there outside of Kill Tony until I am top notch up there. You know,
they
2
do
to 3
that.
years.
That is true. Like they don't really care about your credits and stuff there.
Exactly.
Like to
They
get
want you
on
to
the
be funny.
to get on the roster and get to the point where you call in your avails. There's people there that have been in movies. There's people there that have had like some, specials on like streaming services, and they'll still sign up for the open mic.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a real thing. Like
and that's the thing. It's like I look at spots like Creek and Cave. This is where you got to put your work in.
The proving ground.
This is the proving ground. This is where I need to be. This is my scene. This is where I'm putting in work. Creaky Cave, Sunset, Velveeta, Black Rabbit, all the...
And it's all in one spot, too.
Exactly.
That's the true beauty of Austin is that you can do all this shit. You can do 6 shows in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You easily... There is no like, hey, can you do this spot? And then you say, no, I have a spot already. It's like, hey, can you do this spot? Yeah, I don't care if the show starts at the exact same time as this other show. I'll be able to make both. Like, I'll figure it out.
I mean... And the thing is like Roscoe's is just a little skip, hop, and a jump. It's 10, 15
Roscoe's
minutes away.
is the far club, and it's a 4-minute Uber away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying is like there's so much here, and there's so much talent here that it's incredible to just iron sharpens iron here.
Yeah.
Like I was doing a regular show last night, and just all these killers like Jordan J. It was Jordan J, Cam Patterson, Hans Kim, Ari Maddie.
Oh, at Vulcan?
And like a
That's
five
a fun
comic, and like a 5 comic spread, and like a five comics. 4 of them are just absolute monsters.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
it's
they
easy
just-
to do that here.
Yeah, and then I go up 3 comics later, and I have to follow Laser, and it's like, whoa.
Damn.
But
I gotta bring him back.
But it gets.
Shit. Why do I always follow people that bomb? Shit.
Damn. I gotta follow 12 minutes of harmonica. What the fuck?
He did really.
We like Laser. We're friends with Laser. We're
Yeah,
just kidding.
he crushed. But it's getting me better because you know what? I have to follow people that crush. I got to follow a Cam Patterson who just murdered the whole room.
I mean, dude, when I got to Austin, the first secret show I was on, it was like Joe Rogan, Ron White, David Lucas, Ari Shaffir, Tony Hinchcliffe, me.
Yeah.
And it's just like to just see that on paper. And I'm like, fuck. Like, really? And then I'm like in the middle of like fucking Ron White and Joe Rogan. And you're just like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? But then what it does to you is you're like, well, I have to be the absolute goddamn best I can be. Then I'm not going to reach where they are, but at least I can look like I somewhat belong here. I have to at least try to do that. And then the years after that, it's just every showcase you do here. You never know who's going to be on the show. So you always go fucking hard.
And the first secret show I did, I had to follow Casey Rocket, and this is literally the Thursday after my episode. after I did my episode.
What?
So like,
Did you just say follow through the car to smell his butt?
Yeah, I was making a joke.
Something like that.
I didn't want to ruin his
Love
story.
it. But
he grinded through it. I respect that about Drew. He's like, nah, my story's going on. I don't want to go into the Casey Rocket butt smell thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to smell Casey Rocket's
Look, it happened
butt.
one time.
He paces around a lot. It's gross.
He does
Sweat.
move.
It just smells like riffage.
It just smells like sweat and
the
kratom.
riffs.
Sweat, kratom, and Robitussin.
And a little bit of tuss. But no, I had to follow him, and this was right after my episode, so no one knew who I was in the green room other than Red Band.
Yeah.
So I go up there and I drop a hot bomb.
Hell yeah, dude.
And
It's
I
hot
was
as hell.
like, oh no. And then the next one I had to open it and I murdered that opener.
Fuck yeah.
But I learned from that bomb and following somebody that was so awesome like Casey, where it was the first time I'd seen Casey do more than a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So it was beautiful. But I love it here. I'm growing. I'm getting better. I'm writing. And that's what I want to do. And now I'm realizing this is what I want to do with my life.
Oh, great.
That's great, dude. And yeah, I mean, you really have taken advantage of the situation, because I've watched you like since you've gotten it, and you really have been working your ass off. And also, like, what it always comes down to is when you talk to you, it's very obvious you're really funny. Like, I think that's what everyone's realized, because a lot of us didn't know you when you got on, because like you said, you were staying in Dallas and you were coming here, couldn't spend as much time here, but afterwards, you know, you were around all the time. We got to know you, and it's just very clear that you have a really good comedic mindset. And it may have taken a donkey kicking you in the head because you were having sex with it.
yeah, something like that, you know?
It's been revealed. That's a joke. That didn't really happen, or it did. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh.
I made it up, but that could have been what happened. Well, fuck yeah. We've been going. It's been a great episode. Thank you so much for coming, brother.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Very
and,
fun.
The views and opinions reflected on the Filthy show was all a riff. It was all a dream.
No,
all right?
this isn't even really Drew. This is an AI hologram.
My name is Sergio.
Would you like to know about
Malfunction,
sushi?
Malfunction.
You're doing great on social media and stuff, and we don't have a huge following, but do you just want to plug your shit anyway?
Yeah, man. _Drew Nickens. That's my Instagram. I have a Cameo if you want me to give you a pep talk or anything of that nature. And
How much money to jerk off on it?
Yeah.
Can you do that on Cameo? Probably not, right?
I mean, if you
we
pay
can
for
work
it.
some of that, all right? I'm an auction
You'll personally
color.
DM
If you're
them.
looking at 4 digits, man.
All right. If we're, yeah, 4, of course. 4.
$40. Never, maybe. Though. Let me know.
A McDonald's chicken nugget meal.
Oh,
What?
Jesus Christ, Drew.
Made of money, Drew.
That's not expensive at all.
I like Icy Orange, anyways. But yeah, I'm on there. So thank y'all so much for having me. This was a really fun episode. So appreciate
Fuck
it.
yeah. Dude, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And then we're Filthy Show on Instagram, The Filthy Show. That's it's mostly where you can find a lot of like clips and shit. If you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't followed that, please follow. It's been doing a lot better. So, you know, help us out, and then comment on the YouTube, comment on all the clips and stuff. If anyone's hating on me on the clips, join in. They're having a good time. And a lot of those guys make really good points. So, Jesus, fuck. How did you do that? Did you just knock my own mic down?
I was fixing my hat and I hit
Fucking
my
you
elbow on it.
magnetoed this goddamn shit.
I always forget how big I am.
You always forget how fucking stupid you are, too. But yeah, _Adam Luckey on Instagram. It's, what is it on your Instagram? Dumb retard idiot that fucks up my outro. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's what it is. It's series comedy. And thank you, Drew Nickens. Thank you, Chris, for saying about 12 words. That's the best you've done on the podcast so far. Thank you, guys.